So, welcome. We're here with another episode of Thomas Shows You a Video and Explains a Game of Thrones card. So, I know what to say. Was actually something I was going to say. Um, yeah, the new, the Dali Tarot has been released again. And apparently they're experiencing some delays in delivery, so I haven't picked up at that yet. Anyways, today's topic is, of course, the Game of Thrones and the Game of Thrones tarot. And so, in the name of the seven and all the old gods and the new and the Lord, whose name I forgot yesterday. Sorry about that, the Lord. May this be a useful card for you. And look deeply into the flames so you can see the future. Well, actually, if you hold to these notions that the cards actually predict the future, you haven't been paying attention while you've been watching Terminator. It's up to you how you want to write your future. So, doesn't mean that it's not valuable to think about it, and that's what the tarot helps us to do. The Chariot. This is a very interesting card. It's got several levels to it. So let's start by looking at a little video. Okay, just to remind you, so what you see here, it's Drogon in front of old Khalasar, or, well, the people with, the funny swords that ride on horses. And implicitly, our Khaleesi is, of course, behind, even though we cannot see her right now. She's riding Drogon, of course, and she's delivering a speech. And I wanted to show you an excerpt from that speech. Okay, and I'm terribly sorry about this. Obviously, I got the wrong clip. Okay, so the Khalasar is waiting, and the shadow of a dragon flying overhead. Okay, so she's speaking, I will not choose 3 Blood Riders. I will choose all of you to Blood Riders. And I will ask more of you than any Khal has asked of you previously. Will you ride the wooden horses across the black salt sea? Will you kill my enemies in their iron suits? Yeah. Will you give me the 7 kingdoms? The gift Khal Drogo promised me. Yeah. Are you with me? and everybody is very enthusiastic. Okay. That's the scene that's captured in this card. And I think it's worthwhile pointing out a couple of things that are like more traditionally attributed to this card. It's often painted with like a black and white sphinx or a black and white horse, and that's generally taken to be an allusion to something Plato wrote about using his mouthpiece Socrates about well, so you can see here some white horses. Can you see any black horses? Well, maybe the dragon is a black horse, I don't know. But the point with this Plato story is simply that inside of us we have two natures that need to be controlled, or need to be, well, just so it doesn't becomes the black evil black horse that eats everything and becomes a bit like that cliche story about in your chest you have two wolves and which one survives the one you feed. Well, it's not always as easy as just feeding the good stuff, but so that's in there. And there is another aspect of this card that I think is worthwhile to keep in mind, because it looks so powerful, right? And it's like, oh, the ego in control of itself, and Daenerys on a dragon, it's almost like strength or something, but it's not, because there is another aspect to this card, and that aspect is taking out the victory before it's actually achieved. And Daenerys and her new Storm Riders, Blood Riders, they're all like making the assumption that, yeah, of course we're gonna win. But do they? Do they? Well, I suppose they do, actually. But it's not so obvious. The card doesn't necessarily predict victory. And what is it that is the real difference between the person who wins when they have all this power at hand? Well, one of the key influencers is what parts of your personality do you cultivate? And I think that should be enough for today. Thank you so much, and see you later on next episode on Thomas shows a video and explains a Game of Thrones card. Gotta come up with a shorter title.